Hello, welcome back to Gordon's channel. We've come to lesson 21 of our to-do list app series. And in this lesson, we are going to fix some issues. So first of all, we will try to set the initial date of FullCalendar. So let's say now, if we go to our app, if we refresh our page, it always stay at July, while we are already in September. And to solve this problem, we can go to our desc file and then go to where the initial date is set, which is inside our initCalendar function. So here, when we generate the new FullCalendar, now we have an initial date property in the original setting object. So this initial date object, when we copy this code from the demo page of the FullCalendar, we copy the static date, July 7th. That's why it always shows July as the initial date. So here, instead of doing July 7th, let's change it to new date. Come on. So here, when we use the date constructor to generate a new date, then we can use the initial date to set the initial date to September. So let's try it. Now, when we have reload the page, then it goes to September because we are at September now. So this is the first point to use the initial date object. The initial date property should be assigned inside our options object when we use the new FullCalendar. And here we can use the new date constructor, which is the JavaScript constructor, and then we can use that to pass the current date as the initial date. So secondly, what we want to do is to implement a done in the commitEdit. So the problem is like this. So here, you see that we can have 3 items here. And now when we try to do these features incomplete first, we see that one item just gone missing. So this feature is supposed to do this. For example, if I have take this box to mark this as done, when I use the incomplete first, it will rearrange order. So the to do 3 will comes before the to do 2. But then this to do 6 is incomplete, so it should follow to do 3 before the to do 2. And why this is gone? Because let's look into our use the inspect and then go to the console and then go to application. Yeah, if we check the third item, we see that one of the property is missing. For the first 2 items, we have the done equal false, done equal true. And if we take it, and we can see that the done is updated true, and the second one, remain done is false, and the third one, the done attribute is just missing. And while here, inside our render, inside our multiple filter, here when we check it, we will check whether the done is false against whether the done is true. But we don't have an option when done is missing. And why it is missing? The reason is when we do the commit change. So here in the commitEdit, when we commit the edit, after we commitEdit, we will get the value from the model box. And after getting the value from the model box, we will assign this new object, push it into the to-do list. So we will go to the to-do list, find the one with the ID, the same as our current ID, and then we will update the to-do list object. When we update it, we are missing done property here. So let's go to add the done here. So the done, it should be, let's just keep it simple here, and if you need just let it be false, because if it is done, then it is very unlikely that we want to edit it. So let's assume that it is done equal to false. So if we save it now and then we try to make some change on it, for example, we try to change the category 4 to another date, for example, July 21st, save change. After that, if we try to incomplete first again, then we can see the to-do 6 is still here. So this is the second issues that we fixed, which is to add the done attribute in the commitEdit function. And the third one is the date is stored in the cell. So here, when we use the inspect item, when we inspect the element on the table, we can see that there is a date value, which is July 1st. And if we inspect the second one, we can see July 19th. And if we inspect the third one, we see July 21st. So this is the date here. If we change it to another date, for example, if we change it to 15th, let's save it. Now we see that the date is still showing July 21st. The reason is that we have not updated this value, so it is involved here. So this value is first happens when in the render row. So if we go to the render row function, we can see that inside the date element, we have the dataset here. So for the date element, we have create the TD, and then we have date element dot inner text, and then we have add a date attribute to them. So the attribute name is date.value. So let's go to find this one. So find dataset dot value. So here it is here. So it is inside our render row function, and below this checkbox item. So after add event, we have set the date element dot dataset dot value equals to date, and we have only set it here, but we have not set it inside the commitEdit. When we have the edit features, we have not updated that. So we can update it if we need it, but actually we don't need it anymore, because this feature, this dataset value, is for the lesson when we use the edit table here. So, and that lesson, we have implement two ways to edit an entries. One way is to edit with the model box. Another way is to double click on a cell to make it an input element, so we can edit it at that cell. So if we don't need it anymore, then we can just, for example, comment it out. So we don't need it anymore. So let's try it again. Now if we see it, if we use the inspect, we see that it doesn't have that uh, dataset value anymore. So that's good. So we have solved the first issue. And for the fourth issue, we want to add a title to our page. So here it is showing documents, but if we want to add a title, let's go to the HTML. Inside the head, we find the title, and here we can add the title. For example, Gordon's to-do list to do this. And if you change here, you can change it to your name. And let's just add one more SEO. So here we need to meta. So meta, we have many information for the search engine. For example, we have the description. So meta with the name attribute being description. This one is for the search engine or some description. When, for example, you send this page, the URL to your friend through WhatsApp, this one is shown here. So let's change it to some meaningful contents. For example, managing daily activities. Help you manage your help managing daily activities. Be organized. So let's add some description to our this web page. So this is when we save it and we go to here, we can see Gordon's to-do list, and the meta is not shown in the browser because we need another way to see it. So that's it for today. So we have fixed 4 issues which has come along when we proceed to lesson 20. So in the next lesson, what we will do next is pagination as suggested by us audience, and then we will have event time in FullCalendar, job event of FullCalendar, and then we will try to deploy the static web page. So let's see you in the next lesson. Thank you. Bye bye.